Hi, I'm Scott Campbell with Solve3D.
I'm Kevin Miller at Solve3D.
Kevin, in the past couple of videos, we looked at the different data types that we can use in Encompass, and then you took us through how to prepare them to upload them into Encompass. So now maybe we should take a look at how you actually create that project space inside Encompass.
Right. So the first thing is to log in to Encompass with your organization admin credentials. So in my case, I'm using my demo account. I'm just going to log in. And by default, you may appear on the overview map. So I'll just switch back to that. This is probably what you'll see. If you don't see that, make sure you're just on the exact homepage for Encompass. Otherwise, you can go to management on the left-hand side. And this is where you're going to be able to manage all of your projects in the system as well as invite users and all that stuff. So we'll cover all that in another video. But today we're going to focus on creating that project inside of Encompass. So as a tip, I like to tell people, make sure you define your projections first. Having a projection for your data is the very first step before creating a project. So to manage projections, you simply just click on projections here under management, or on the left-hand side, there's a projections link here. So once you're in projections, your projections list may look a little different than mine, but by default, you're going to see any projections that are created in the system already. You may have none if you're a brand new user, or you might have a whole bunch if you're logging into an existing system. So to create a new projection at the bottom here, you just click the new projection icon, and you get a little search box at the top here where you can search for either an EPSG code or a keyword or something that might help you find what you're looking for. This search is just searching the internet for certain projections. So depending how if you have a very unique projection, you may not find it, and you may have to create it yourself. So we have a more advanced video on how to create some local projections and advanced projections. So we'll cover that in another video. But for now, we're going to stick with something simple here. We're going to go 32N for UTM 32. And you see it's found numerous results. I can search within those results if I'd like, or I can go to another page, but I know this is the one that I'm looking for right here based off my project data. So I've clicked on it. You see it's now populated into this area. So I give it if I'm happy with this name, I can just leave it. I'll call this solved just here so I can differentiate it, but I'm going to click add projection. So once it's added, if you need to manage it, it'll be in this list again. You can find it. But we're done here. So now we can go to project management on the left-hand side to create our project. So by default in the project management, you're going to see any projects that you may have administrator rights over. I have being my demo user, I have a whole bunch of local projects here that I've created, but to create a new one, click new project. And in here, you can start filling in the name. So I'm going to call this example project solved. When you go through this, if you're trying with the same data, feel free to call it example project and your company name so you can compare the two. We're going to select the projection that we defined before. So this was called, let me find it here, this guy. And the project type is going to be cloud. And then if you want to switch to a different date, you can. This date just helps you organize your data. If you have multiple collections on the same day or over a couple of weeks, you can change the date. Otherwise, make sure you select the organization that you belong to. So in my case, solved. And once you're done, you just hit add project. And now it should have added here. So we can just search to filter it down. And here's the project. So we can click into this project, and now we see what we call a project chart for this data. And this allows you to see basically, if you want to change the name of your project or the projection, you made a mistake, you can change it here. Otherwise, you can start using this to upload your data.
Yeah, that looks pretty easy, Kevin. Now I see, as you mentioned, upload point clouds, there's nothing there. Upload image, there's nothing there. And then we've got upload to solve 3D engine. So how about you take us through how we upload that data that we prepared in the previous step?
Okay, so yeah, as you mentioned, this very important button, upload with Solve 3D Engine. Engine is going to be our tool that we use to upload this data into our project. So once you're into the project card that you want to upload data to, you simply click the Upload with Solved Engine button. And this may prompt you, if you haven't done it before, it may prompt you to ask to open in Solved Engine. So just click Open in Solved Engine. And you see Engine starts up immediately, and it opens what we call a data upload wizard. And you should see a few things on this thing. You should see the name of the project that you created. So just make sure that you are uploading the correct data to the right project. And there's kind of a few different tabs. So we have to go through those data types that we mentioned previously in another video, the point cloud, the images, and any CSV files that we want to upload. And each one of these tabs is optional depending on the type of project you're uploading. So in this case, we're going to upload a set of data from all three tabs. So we'll start with the point cloud. You can either upload one file at a time by hitting add point cloud or a whole folder. So we know we just have one LAS file here. So I'm going to go back into that directory and we're going to find that section.las file that I created previously that I extracted from the LAZ.
Yeah, and if anybody gets confused by the file structure again, go back and see the previous video on preparing the data. All
Yep.
right, that looks good.
So yeah, it's detected one file. We just hit add, and you see it immediately starts uploading. You'll see this progress bar going up in a second. There it goes. You don't have to wait for this to finish. You can move on by hitting next.
And that'll upload in the background
Yep, you can always click back on this
and
and
see its
check it out again and
progress.
see
Yep.
where it's at.
Okay, great.
So now we're going to do the PNG images for all the 360-degree panos. So I'm going to add a folder this time. Go back. It's up a directory here, TCC HD pics. Select folder, and you see it's detected 16 images. So add files. And again, you'll start seeing the progress bar go up for each one of those.
And again, this will upload in the background.
Yep. So you click next. And now we have to do the CSV file. So again, click add orientation CSV. We're going to find that Encompass version of the CSV file and hit OK. If you're uploading PNG files at the same time, you're going to see something about it's matched some images. So it did find the matching images from the CSV file versus the ones that I'm uploading. So it's always good to see some green. This red writing here, orientation required, means that I have to edit some details, and that's fine. So you click edit details. And this is usually a step that most people get stumped on. If your CSV file is already in a Encompass style format, all of these column mappings are going to be automatically applied. So the X column you see here is finding the X column in the CSV. If for some reason you have a special format or you're doing something a little different and you need to map things manually, this is where you could go and select a different column for those. Most of the time, if you're using the Encompass format, it's going to detect automatically. But just in case it isn't, this is where you can change it. This bottom section is about the orientation. Each camera or each sensor might be set up differently and have a different heading direction that the rotation values are applied on. We have a whole other document that explains all of this, but essentially, most times, and for most sensors, and especially in Encompass style CSV, you're going to have a clockwise east, so these default values. But if you need to change it, this is where you can change it. If your sensor's facing a different direction, maybe north or something, you can change it here. So like I said, this is usually the part that most people get confused upon, and it may require some trial and error depending if you have a custom setup for your sensor.
So in this case, you know that the settings were correct and you're just going to confirm them.
That's right. Yeah. So I haven't changed
Yeah.
anything. I'm just going to hit confirm, and you see that red
Red goes
error
away.
went away.
Yeah.
Um, If you want to make sure your data is in the right place, you can always hit this test camera locations button and it will open a little map and you can zoom out and go, yeah, that's based off my projection and the CSV that I uploaded. This looks like the
That's in
right
the right
place in the
place.
world where my data lives. Um, you can just double check. We'll just double check that these have all uploaded. Yes, they have. Um, and then at any point during the process, whether they've finished uploading or not, I can hit submit data. So you'll get a confirmation box that says we've detected that you're uploading point clouds, images, and an orientation file. So you can hit process and you'll get another series of uh, windows for each data type, indicating that it's finished uploading and has successfully submitted to the cloud. So we have the CSV that's been submitted, we have the point cloud processing that have started, and we have some images that have started. So all of that data has been uploaded to the Solved Encompass cloud, and each one of those files is now processing automatically, and you'll receive an email as soon as they're done. This email might come in a few minutes, or it may take an hour, depending on the size of the data that you've uploaded. So just wait for that email, and once you get an email for each type for the point cloud and the camera images, you are good to go to view your project.
Okay, Kevin, I see the emails have come in indicating that the processing of the uploading of the data has completed. There are the emails right there. And I guess it's important to remind everybody that you can't actually see the project until all of the data sets have been processed, right?
That's right. Yeah, sometimes you may be able to just view point cloud or you may just be able to view images, but if you have uploaded more than one data type in the data upload wizard, it's best to wait until you get all of the emails. In this case, two different emails. You see here on my screen that I have one set for the image processing on the right-hand side and another email for the point cloud processing on the left-hand side. So once you get both those emails, it's to view your project as simple as just clicking the view project link. If you're still logged into Encompass, you'll be right into the project and you should be able to view it here. So you can see our point cloud and our images. But if you aren't logged in anymore, you may have to log
Have
in
to log in again.
before viewing the project.
And we had suggested, if you look at the top left corner of the screen there, we had suggested that you name your project when you take the sample data and call it example project hyphen your company name. And that's because the projects in that folder are sorted alphabetically, and your project will be right next to ours, and you can switch between the two to see how you did on creating and uploading this project data. But this looks good. And yeah, so that's the different data types. That's how to process the data types. That's how to create a project. And that's how to upload a project into Encompass. Thanks very much, Kevin.
No problem.